Ryan Messick here on Game7.TV at the annual March of Dimes Sports Luncheon with Michael Strahan, the former Giants defensive end. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL season this year. The Giants and the Eagles in the NFC East tied up right now. Who do you see pulling ahead in that division? Is it all going to hinge on their game later this year?
Definitely, I think it all hinges on the game later in the year. I think both teams still have a pretty tough schedule and nothing's a given, especially the topsy-turvy NFL, the way it's been going this year. To watch the Eagles lose last week, you kind of saw a formula that the Giants, in a lot of ways, implemented against the offense and Michael Vick as far as pressure on the quarterback, and Chicago made the most of it. It's going to be really interesting to see how the game plays out at the end, because these are really the only two teams in that division I could see going forward.
You talked about the formula the Giants used, the Bears copied it. How much of that was those being two of the best defenses in the league and being able to get pressure up front? How much is that formula that could work going forward?
I think that helps. Definitely being better defense definitely helps against Michael Vick. And I think for the Giants, the next go-around, they have to put more pressure on him without blitzing. Antrell Rolle did a phenomenal job of blitzing and getting some good hits on Michael Vick. But the next time around, front four, they're going to have to put more pressure without having to send a blitz and opening up some things and put more pressure on the guys on the back end. So it'll be good to see, and that's going to be the challenge for that defensive front.
One guy who had a big game against the Eagles was Justin Tuck. Also had a good performance as a leader against Jacksonville as the Giants came from behind in that game. What have you seen from him growing as a player and really emerging as one of the key parts of this team as a leader and on the field?
Well, I think as a player, he's always had that talent. Early in his career, he had some injury problems. He had gotten over those and has been unstoppable, ever since. And I think as a leader is one of those roles that you grow into, and he has definitely grown into that, and at his own pace, which I think is important. You can't say you need to be a leader, you need to do this or do that. He's grown into it at the right time, and what he did the other day to inspire the team at halftime with his speech along with OC just goes back to the days of when I was there. The defensive line was the strong point of that team, and we were the heart of it. And those guys finally, you get tired of losing enough or being in bad situations enough, you'll step up, and that's what they did.
That defensive line's drawn a lot of comparisons to when you were on the defensive line for the Giants. A couple of off-field issues have been big in the NFL this season. One is the defenseless receivers, the hits. As a former defensive player, how hard is it for these guys to adjust and figure out, they can't hit high, you don't want to hit low? It seems like a lose-lose.
Yeah, you can't. I can't figure it out. A lot of time when you see a guy who definitely goes for the head and he does, okay, right, great, I can understand it. But in a lot of instances, I think it's just a natural reaction. If I'm running full speed and you see me coming, you're going to duck. And from where I'm aiming, if you duck into my blow, that shouldn't be a penalty. I think it's a fine line, one that's almost hard to know what exactly it is.
Yeah.
And I've seen quite a few games now where the ball's been thrown deep and the guys have a good shot, and they kind of let up, and the guy completes the ball. If I'm on defense, my job is to make sure you don't catch that ball.
Right.
So it takes away in some instances from that, but it does help in player safety. And I think at the end of the day, that's what the league is concerned about, player safety, and I can understand that argument as well.
And the last thing for you, the CBA expiring at the end of the season. A lot of talk about whether there's going to be a lockout or not. It's early in the process, but what's your sense? Are they going to get this thing done before the start of next season?
You know what I don't understand? Everyone says, well, it's early. Get it done now. Why wait till the last minute? This is not like high school homework.
Right.
High school, I wait till the last minute. I do it in the morning before I went to school. This is actually, about livelihoods and living in a big, huge business that, in any case, I don't think anybody wants to see a lockout. I think it has never helped any sport when there has been a lockout from the history of the NFL. If you watch the NBA, if you watch baseball,
yeah,
it doesn't help. And I think fans love it and they enjoy it. It's the most popular sport in this country. So why mess up a good thing? Get in the room right now, figure it out, make it happen. There's no other excuse to do that, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to lose. And I don't think that's right, including the fans.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael. Michael Strahan here at the annual March of Dimes Luncheon on Game7.TV.